Okay, so in this video we are going to see how to install, remove, upgrade, etc. the packages which we are using from npm. So first of all, what are the packages we have installed? We have installed serve, and we saw that it is a dev dependency. So let's revise. How did we install? So if we have a package called serve, then we were using something called npm serve, or you could also use npm install serve. In fact, you can also do npm add serve. First of all, how do I know all these? Because it is written in the documentation. So npm install, if you go and read the documentation, then you will see that, yeah, see, npm install, this is the syntax. Npm install is the syntax, but it is written that npm add and npm I, these are the aliases, which means that if you want shortcut, then you can simply write npm I. That will also work. Okay, so npm install, npm I, npm add, all will work. Okay, but you can see that there are other configurations also. So save dev, save optional, save exact, all those things. So what are these? What are these? First, we already saw that if we do something like this, which is save dev or hyphen capital D, this means that it will save a dev dependency. So we already installed serve like that only, and that's why it went into dev dependency. However, if we install something without hyphen D, then it will go in dependencies block rather than dev dependency block. And we already know what is the difference, right? So dependency are something which we directly want to use in our code base, and any sort of development tooling or that sort of thing which is only for development purposes, that is generally in dev dependencies. Okay, fine. Also, we just to highlight that we also saw that when earlier we installed serve globally, then we used hyphen G flag, right? Hyphen G flag we can also use, or we can also use hyphen global. So in fact, all the options which you are passing, there is one long way, and then there is a one short way, right? So for example, hyphen save dev is the longer way, right? For more clarity, and hyphen capital D, that was the shorter way. Similarly, hyphen small g is the shorter way here, and hyphen global is the larger way here. So you can see here that yeah, so that is a generic command, so I don't know, that might not be mentioned in the documentation. Somewhere else it might be mentioned, but the point but the point you understand. Okay, so that is fine. Hyphen global or hyphen G, we will not install it because or let me show you installing it, because earlier we saw something like npm ls serve, and since this is installed locally, that's why we can see this thing, right? But if we install ls serve hyphen G, then you see that it is not installed globally, and that's why it is giving me empty. But if I install, now I'm installing serve globally, so that will be a separate installation. This is a separate installation. Okay, and when you have installed both and you run serve dot, then the local one will be given priority. So this will not conflict, so that is fine, which means that we are having a global one also, and we are having a local one also, right, for this project specifically. Okay, now if we do npm ls is what? Npm ls is basically just used to see list. Ls is shortcut for list, right? Now I believe list is also there. Yeah, so you can see that list and ls both work, but the main thing, you see that hyphen g globally it is also working, right? And now you can understand that what is the advantage of using a global and local. So you see that I have a global version installed, I have a local version installed. Right now it doesn't look like much difference, but let's say there is a way to install different version of npm serve. Okay, so let's remove npm for now. let's remove npm from now from locally. So locally it is removed. So globally now only it will give me, and locally it will give me, sorry, globally only it will give me, and locally it will not give me because there is nothing installed, right, locally. But let's install locally serve a different version. So 13 was there, right? So let's say 12th version I'm trying to install, right? So this is the syntax. If you don't write anything, then obviously the latest one will be installed. But if you write something at the rate at 12 or at any other version like prior version, then that version will be installed. Okay, so now you see that when this will be installed, then it is like some 12th, some whatever is the latest version in major version. So this is called, this first part is called major, second part is called minor, third part is called patch. We will see in detail in semantic versioning video. But and this caret also will see in semantic versioning. But right now let me show you this thing, that we have installed this 12th version. Right now if I do npm ls serve globally, then you see that globally is still that 13. But if I ls locally, then you can see that locally. So you can understand that different folders or different projects can have different versions of softwares depending on your requirement. Let's say you are having some software where the latest one breaks, you don't the latest one you cannot use, so you are using some older version because of some reason. So you can use something like that to use any version which you want. Next, uh, there is a way to install exact this thing also. So again let's say I remove serve from locally, and this time I install serve, and I install 12th version only, but I am passing a flag called hyphen exact. Now you see what is going to happen, that I think in install they would have given this. So you see that hyphen capital E or hyphen save exact. So yeah, so the command is save exact. I don't know, maybe exact will also work because they have a lot of aliases. But anyways, let's use whatever is written in the documentation. So if I use something like this, then you see that 12th version will be installed, but this time that that caret symbol in front is not there, right? Actually that caret symbol in front means that the major version will not change, but let's say 12.0.2, 12.0.3, or let's say 12.1.0, if those things are released, right, then they might be upgraded, but the major version will be not upgraded, right? So yeah, so we'll see that in semantic versioning video. But the point is that let's say you don't want to bother about all those so you understand what is happening. Even though here 12.0.1 is there, but if caret would have been there, then even if your packagation is this, but the latest one is available is 12.0.4, then if you install, then actually that latest one will be installed, not this thing. But if you write exact, right, then again I don't want to manually touch this, right? And that's why I just showed you an example. The better way is that you pass hyphen save exact flag, then that caret will not come this exact. Now what is happening, that doesn't matter 12.0.3, 4, 5, whatever is, or 13, or whatever is there, I don't care. I just want exactly this version. Okay, so if you use exact, then exactly this version will be used. Okay, fine. One next thing is that right now, so right now we are pretty much there, that npm ls -g is this thing, and then npm ls. What if I want to upgrade this? Let's say this is some old repository, and it was 12 from a long time ago, but now I know that 13 has come, so I want to upgrade it to 13, right? So uh, there are ways to install it, right? if you want to install like the first time only, the latest one, right, then you can use npm I serve at latest, right, in the first time. So let's see this. So now you see that it has been installed to the latest one, and now npm ls serve is also same as npm ls global, right, both are right. Okay, so you understand one thing, that this is the way to upgrade packages, right? So there is no such separate upgrade command. In fact, you see, if you simply run npm I and package name at latest, then automatically that will be overwritten and new thing will be installed, right? uh, Next, let's know how to remove the packages. Okay, so many times we have seen this already, that we are using npm rm, right, and it was getting removed, right? But this npm rm is basically an alias. Actually the command is npm uninstall. This is the full command actual. Npm install for installing, npm uninstall for uninstalling. But for installing, like there are aliases I and add. Similarly for uninstalling also there are other aliases, right? You can use npm rm, you can which is short for remove, but you can also use npm remove. This is also working, right? In fact, you can only use npm r. This also works. There are other aliases which are npm unlink. There are other aliases called only npm un. Now you can understand there are like 5-6 aliases, so you just get confused, right? So just you remember one long and one short, and that will be fine. npm install and npm I, npm let's say uninstall and npm rm. So these will be working. Why I am not using npm r? Just for clarity, right? Rm, because in Unix systems for deleting files generally you use rm. That's why I generally use rm for in this npm world also. Okay, so and again, how do I know all this? Because it is written in the documentation. So npm and uninstall, if you go, then you see that, yeah, whatever I said, npm remove, rm, r, unlink, all these are aliases. The actual command is npm uninstall, and after that whatever you want to whatever package you want to uninstall. Okay, so this is how it works. That is fine. We have unnecessarily removed it. Let's add it back. Npm I serve, and it has to be a dev dependency, and that's why. Let's install this. Okay, that is fine. So it is a dev dependency. Okay, just one more thing. Whatever we are installing locally, right? Whatever we are installing locally, where is it is getting installed? I told you that in node modules, and here it is getting installed, but actually you can configure these things, you can change this, but generally nobody changes. But at least let's say you want to just see that where it is getting installed, some newcomer is there who has no idea that where it is getting installed, then there is command here which is called npm route. So if you write npm route, then it tells you that where the things are getting installed, and you can see clearly it is saying that the current directory which I am there, like this is the folder in which my project is there. In that, node modules is the folder where things are getting installed. Okay, in this, and this is about local thing, right? Again, if I want to know that where the global things are getting installed, so same npm route, and you can pass hyphen hyphen global, or again you can use only hyphen g. This will also work. So this will npm route hyphen g, this will give you where the global packages are getting installed. So you see that it is giving me some path in my system, and if you see the contents, then you can see that, yeah, serve I installed, right, globally, and that's why it is there. In fact, let's remove the global serve, npm rm serve and hyphen g. You can put this hyphen g here also for that matter. Actually, it does not matter. Okay, so when I'm removing serve globally, then if I run this and then I run that command again, then you can see that this serve package is now deleted from globally, right? But local it is still there. You can see that npm ls serve, this thing is still there, but global thing is gone. Now you can see that one more thing, that what is this npm. Okay, the thing is that inside npm ecosystem, npm also installs a package called npm, which is basically the npm itself. So what is the advantage of this? Advantage of this is that uh, like you upgrade some other packages, right? So let's say I was just upgrading earlier serve package, so serve at latest if you install, right? Then basically it upgrades that, right? Similarly, you can upgrade npm using npm. You understand? Okay, so my point is that npm ls, you know that npm ls so sorry, I was trying to see the version of npm. So node is 16 and npm is 8.12.1. okay, so I'm saying that you can upgrade npm by using the same command which you are using for other things. So npm I and then npm at latest, and definitely this is not a this thing, so you have to use global flag. You could have used you could have used just -g flag, that is also fine. So npm I, you are installing npm at latest, which means basically you are upgrading it to the latest one, and globally, right? So if you run this command, then the npm is upgraded. So npm -v, if you write, then you see that earlier it was 8.12.1, now it is 8.12.2. so whatever is the latest npm, I have upgraded my npm to the latest npm. So this is the way in which just I give you an example, because I just showed you that there, right, that in global node modules folder, that is where things are installed. And again and again, whatever the things you are seeing there, like all the it's like right now my I have not installed much things globally, and that's why it is there. If you keep on installing too many things, then everything will keep on there coming here. If you see that my disk space is like taking too much space, then you can simply do npm route -g, and you can see that where the things are there, and you can go and delete everything, right? And then it'll clean up some space for you. So this is the way in which basically you can upgrade npm without upgrading node.js. So generally, if you upgrade node.js, then npm will be also upgraded, right? But let's say I don't want to upgrade node.js because of any number of reasons, because let's say otherwise my current code might start breaking or something. But npm upgrading npm is generally pretty benign, and if you upgrade npm without upgrading node.js, then that should not be an issue at all. Okay, so you could use this thing to do that. Okay, now we saw installing, removing, and upgrading, which is essentially just same as installing with at latest time, right? Now let's see a couple of more things. uh, Earlier we also saw something like this, right, which is so npm route we saw, npm config also we saw, right? npm config ls, in fact npm config list, npm config ls is just a shortcut for that same thing. So npm config ls we saw, and then we saw that yeah, these are the only things which I know that like my preferred things are there. If you want to see all the things, then see here also it is saying that npm config ls -l, then it will show you all the defaults rather than whatever you are only using, right? So if you do something like this, then all the things which will be shown. Now you see that a lot of other things are shown here. So for example, where is the cache? So I was telling you earlier, right, that things are cached um, in your disk somewhere, that if you install the same thing again and again and again, then basically it does not try to download everything. If it sees that you have already installed it, then it keeps it in cache. Again, this is like this is the default location. If let's say your some drive in your some Windows machine, or you want to change the location, then you can change these things. And how do you change these things? Same as we saw earlier, right? So you can basically simply see that npm config get cache, then it will give you the current value, right? And then you can, if you want, you can set cache, right? But generally you want to set for like globally, right? So there's no point in setting just for this thing. So generally the global setup, you can do something like this. And what you can do more, you can delete this thing which you definitely never want to do this, right? In fact, locally if you added, then you could like locally delete. So let me show you. So let's say I will revert that, but let me show you. So it's, let's say I did npm config set cache, and let's say by mistake I just wrote this command, and by mistake just I pressed enter. You see what happens, that there is some new file is created here, right? Why? Because now my this thing becomes cache thing, right? My current folder becomes this thing, uh, cache thing, right? So if you want to see, then you can do npm config ls, and then you will see that this cache is set as my current thing, which is exactly which you never want, right? So let's say you did this by mistake, right? And then now you want to undo this. First of all, let's see what is the npm config ls -g. So you can see that this thing is overwritten, right? And to confirm, if you do npm ls -l, then you will see something like this. You can see that it is saying that this actually in this in many scripts or something like that, what happens that if the line starts with semicolon, that is a comment. So basically this whole line is a comment, right? So basically this is commented, and what it is saying, that overwritten by user, right? So I'm saying that the global settings are overwritten for this particular user, and maybe I don't want this. So this is done by mistake, right? So somehow I have to undo it. What is the way to undo it? Simply delete your local whatever you did cache variable, right? Then this will be again uncommented, right? So whatever npm config set I did, and in fact if you do get, then you will see the npm config cache, it was right? So npm config get cache, I don't want that, right? So I'm ready to delete. Don't put -g here, right? Because I don't want to delete the global one. Just what I by mistake right now I changed my settings. I just want to undo that, right? Actually there are a hierarchy of these configuration files, if you see. Then so essentially you can see here that npm config ls ls only, right? Let's see, right? And you can see that one file is this which is taking the settings, then one file is this, right? So yeah, basically there is a hierarchy of these files, and whatever is the most recent one, like for your user, whatever is the most uh, recent one, in the sense that in the hierarchy, whatever is the in the directory tree, whatever is the first one, you can node sees, that is the preference it will apply. But generally you have pretty you should have pretty much simple idea that what are the things which I have to keep, I want to keep it in global, and what are the things I want to keep it for my local system, and then you should not mix them, right? So if you know that all the settings for like global everywhere I want to change. So basically what is happening is that all these settings are like when you install, then these paths are properly at that time only set, and you can then configure them to you can whenever you change, then correspondingly the variables are set in those locations, right? Now get cache was right this, right? Now let's say I delete this, again I get this. So you see this is giving me this. Why? Because actually this is now say get is basically trying to get this variable, but actually it is giving you like the global one. And if you want to see that, then you can do npm config ls -l, and then you can see that if I go to cache area, then you can see that earlier it was commented, now it is back to uncommented, which means that now caching will be done. And now you see, because of that mistake, there are some things created here. For example, I don't want these folders, right? These files. So in fact you go and see the contents of this thing, then you see that underscore logs underscore ca cache underscore, so underscore update update notifier last. So these things, and now since by mistake I did on the current folder, right? So these things came here also, right? This is definitely I don't want, so let me remove that. So underscore logs folder I don't want, and this underscore update notifier, this also I don't want, right? So yeah, rest other things should be fine. Yeah. So anyways, that was about config. We saw config get, config set, we already saw it, right? So and we saw cache, right? But there is one more thing. Actually the caching, see caching right now looks like not a very big deal, but slowly what happens when you have not cleaned up the system for years, then this location npm config npm config get cache, let's say, right? This location, basically it will keep on adding caches to it, right? And it might become like in GBs sometimes, this folder. What you want to clean up this sometimes, right? For that there is a command called npm cache clean. Okay, if you do that, then and there is a let's say some permission issue or something is there, then sometimes then you might want to pass force, which means that force fully clean, and just don't bother about anything. I just want to save the space. So if you write something like this, then you see that this cache cleaning has happened, and now you see that when I do ll again, then some cleanup has been done. So for example, you can see that this folder is deleted and all. So there is that is where all the caches were there. Okay, so the idea is that you can use this command npm cache clean for achieving that. Okay, so yeah, that is pretty much it, where we want to see that yeah, how to install and upgrade packages. So yeah, that will be all for this video. In the next video we are going to see, I believe, npm script related things or something. Okay, we'll see in the next one. Thanks.